Okay. Anyway. Shadbase! One in the chat, you guys know who Shadbase is. This guy is a fucking loser. Alright? And I actually, on Twitter, and this is my opinion, but I do believe this guy to be a pedophile. And that is not...
And to make it clear, I don't necessarily agree with that take. I think it's a possibility, but I don't...
I think there's a lot of circumstantial evidence to
There is
suggest it.
too much, and I'm going to explain this.
Yeah, I mean, I understand your opinion. It's just not mine. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, you're being careful, and I should be right now, but I just... No, after I watched this video, I was like, no fucking way. There's no fucking way. This video is titled The Sins of Shadman, an Open Secret, and in this, Tom goes through the history of Shadman
Very
and
good video.
questions why these YouTubers in the art community and the commentary community, why these people follow him, work with him, excuse his actions. You know, I get a lot of people who go after me and go after some of the people that I associate with. They're like, how could you associate with this guy or whatever? And I'm just like, well, I just don't care that much. I don't know how you could excuse what this guy does. The actions that this guy does, the stuff that he has admitted to, the DMs that leaked of him, like just everything about this guy, just like, he could wear a t-shirt that says like, I'm a pedophile on it, and his fans would just be, oh, well, he's not a pedophile, Wally isn't pedophile, or they'll be like, well, he is a pedophile, but however, he's a really good artist, and, he doesn't contribute harm to society. Shut the fuck
I actually
up.
saw him walk an old Christian lady to a movie theater, 2 entire blocks, so I know he's a good guy.
Dude, they unironically said that.
That's a legitimate excuse.
This guy is fucked in the head.
No, you're not joking about
No, I'm not joking. No,
we're not. No. They actually said that because this guy helped an old lady down the street. I can't be a bad guy. There are YouTubers in the art community that housed this person, that lived with this person, and they would get called out and be like, "Well, it's kind of too late to call him out for his." Are you kidding me, bro? I mean, I guess it is a little bit, I mean, well, now that I think about it, maybe it is too late, but just holy shit, dude. And I love it, too, because one of the most grandstanding communities on YouTube are the art community, who will spurg the fuck out when Twitter decides they're gonna pull off the ability to retweet. They're like, you're affecting, do not quote tweet an artist, you're affecting their reach and you're taking from their work or whatever. The same community that gets upset over minimal small shit like this, who, you know, is always up our ass about edgy humor and edgy jokes and shit like that.
I think,
they have a fucking monster.
He said, didn't he say something along the lines of, people are upset at artists who like promote shoplifting or whatever?
Dude,
I did, yeah.
They have a monster within them that they just fucking, they'll either not talk about it, or when they open their mouths, they'll say something really fucking dumb. If they just came out and said, you know what, I don't give a shit, they'd still be open hypocrites, but at least like then it's just you'd have something. But they'll just come up with these fucking bizarre excuses. Dude, this guy is so sick in the head. 2 minutes into the video, you said he drew porn of his own mother?
Yeah, he actually sent it to her, and I believe the story is she disowned him after that.
What the
rightfully so.
What the fuck?
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a well guy. I guess what the kind of point of the video is
I don't even know why he would do that. Wait, why would you make it? But then why would you make it to send to him?
Well,
obviously, that's what I'm trying to bring up with the question.
Sick.
It's a rhetorical.
Yeah.
It's a non-rhetorical.
I mean, the point of the video is basically to say, like, no one would defend him if he actually molested a child, right? Like, no one would be able to possibly defend that. But the fact that they've defended him as far as they have is kind of ridiculous. Like, just because your personal interactions with a pedophile are positive doesn't mean that they're not a pedophile. And I personally do believe that he's a pedophile. I mean, I don't know what else you would call a guy that fawns over, like, child actors who are, like, you know, visibly children, like 11, 12 years old, in his Discord server. And then 3 days later, after his friends defend him, saying that it's all jokes, draws them being, like, raped. Like, I don't know how. I don't know. It's not that funny to me, I guess.
It makes no sense.
It's just a funny meme. Tom.
I mean, he's open about the fact that he lusts over kids. Is that not an unfair thing to say? He's literally open about that. Like, yeah, he's like, I'm gonna watch this movie so I can, we can flip through the video or whatever.
Solo viewing.
Yeah,
I
solo
didn't even
viewing.
Call him I didn't even call him a pedo in the video because I didn't really need to. If you
I
kind of
mean,
analyze all
it's,
the evidence.
his actions are self-explanatory. You don't need
Yeah.
to like outright say it.
And that's kind of the point. It's like it speaks for itself if you look at him. If you look at what he's done and you're a sane person who isn't poisoned by like this weird art community that a lot of people seem to do mental gymnastics through to like excuse his behavior, you know, you're gonna see that he's a fucking degenerate.
Look at all these people. That's Belle Delphine. All these fucking
One
people.
of the biggest names. One of the biggest names in porn. You know, female modeling.
Yeah, let's play some of this. I know you probably don't want to listen to your own voice or whatever, but
All good,
I
man.
don't
Free
know.
promotion. I don't care.
We'll
It's
start
worth
this
noting
off.
that little is actually known about Shadman's personal life beyond what he said himself, so take all that information with a grain of salt. Instead of listing off a bunch of superficial qualities about where he's from or what his name is, let's talk about his actions. According to episode 27 of the podcast, Sleepy Cabin, Shad originally lived in Switzerland, where he attended an art university. However, he was promptly kicked out after staff discovered the risque half of his portfolio, causing them to report him to the authorities. According to the podcast, he was expelled and deemed a menace to society.
Himself. One of them was criminal psychology, but one of them was in the Justice Department.
Oh my
Then
god.
they broke the bomb and said, we found some stuff on your website which is highly illegal and we cannot allow you back on the campus.
Oh wow.
Because you're a menace to society.
They said that exactly?
Yes.
You're a menace
Yes.
to society.
They made me sign a thing accepting that
that you're a menace.
Yes.
Son, it's
Based Switzerland authorities.
Hi, dude, you're like a menace, bro. Bro, that's crazy, dude. Like, listen to these people. And these aren't just some random Spurgs in Discord call. This is Psychic Pebbles, Oni. I mean, I barely know who these people are. But I
like
know
the
that these
content.
are established figures in the community.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. And they're just
these
sitting
aren't
here.
random Spurs.
I've watched like
Bro,
Oni plays
dude,
and
that's
stuff like
so
that. Like, I
crazy.
like their content and their personality.
Yeah.
It's just a little disheartening to hear them.
Now,
out.
this wasn't 2015 or
guy.
whatever. This is before, like, a number of egregious things. So I guess back then, maybe it was easier to excuse this guy, you know, like before the Keem's daughter stuff, before the Lieutenant Corbett stuff, before
yeah, of course.
But
It got a
still-
lot worse after that, but
It's
it was still
only-
pretty bad leading up to it.
It was only that one story, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I think what he did was edgy before, but I'm not personally mad about the fact that he like drew Ed Gould being raped or whatever. Like, I get why people would be upset. I personally, you know, at that point, I think his behavior would still be defensible. The point of showing that stuff in the video, which we'll see in a bit, wasn't really to like moral outrage about it. It was just to kind of paint the picture that like he started going further and further in one direction, and that was kind of provoking people at all costs, which ended up kind of spelling out his own sexual attractions, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, and
And
like,
as much as I dislike what Shadman's doing, of course, I do want to like try and give the benefit of the doubt to the people who are seemingly defending him, because I mean, obviously some people are worse than others in that regard, but I don't want to like say that they all like avow all this horrible behavior.
this
'cause it
clip
is
right
such
here,
horrible
it's just
behavior,
it's
right?
representative of like just a prevailing attitude that just never like. It's not like the attitude of him back then was like, yeah, you're a little bit crazy, but whatever, dude. And then like years later, it went from like you're crazy to you're disavowed from the community. It's still to this day, well, he's a little bit edgy, dude. And like the whole thing is like these people that suck his ass, or whatever. They're like, what are you, a snowflake? What are you, like authoritarian? You don't want this type of art to exist or whatever? It's like, no, I don't want this type of art to exist. Like, they try to spin this narrative that you're the pussy because you just can't handle the joke. You just don't get the joke. You're a pussy. You're a fucking SJW. You want censorship or whatever. It's just like, who is buying into this shit? Who actually believes what these people are saying?
I do want to clarify to the chat, since we're kind of going like, what the fuck right now. In that podcast, they didn't, and I watched this podcast like when it came out because I watched Sleepy Cabin. And by the way, Shadman was just a guest on that podcast. He isn't like regular. But basically on that podcast, he's just talking about like, oh, they banned me for making not safe for work images. He never mentioned it was kitty stuff. He never mentioned it was kitty stuff in the podcast. And maybe like the friends knew, but like obviously like I don't know.
I don't think
like,
he was
I'm
as
just
well
trying-
known for that specifically at the time.
Yeah, it wasn't quite as prevailing. Augie, if you want to, just for you for a timestamp, if you don't want to watch the whole thing, if you want to skip to the 4-minute, 50-second mark, that's when it gets into the more kind of gruesome stuff.
Yeah, real quickly, I see we got some Shad fans in the chat. People saying stuff like, "Oh, it's just a troll," but oh, he's so cool, dude. He's so fucking cool. I sincerely hope you guys aren't the same people that get so up each other's ass about like art Twitter and promotion and stuff and fucking edgy jokes and stuff like that, because that would just be hilarious, you know?
No, I just hope these people are the people who've only seen like one or two instances of it and are like turned off by it, but like pass it off as a troll. And I hope if they watch Turkey Tom's video that they will see that it's a lot more consistent than it is.
Well, I don't
Right.
know, man.
If
I
they
mean,
say after Turkey Tom's video, then I have questions.
Ignoring that this art was directly enabling pedophiles and he was now receiving funding from pedophiles, at the very least, at this point, his behavior was defensible. But it was soon that these defenses would be heavily strained when in 2016, Shad began drawing art of real children. In the months leading up to the 2016 presidential election, Shad was gaining a lot of attention. This was due to the recent popularity of his Overwatch art, as well as his political-centric comics, such as Hillary Clinton. On November 8th, an anonymous user asked Shadman on his Tumblr if he'd draw Keemstar's daughter performing oral sex with Donald Trump. At the time, Keemstar's daughter was only 7 years old. Shadman took a screenshot of the post and stated on Twitter that he'd do it if Donald Trump won. So,
I don't even
3
know
days
why
later,
he would bother
when
responding to something like that. Like when I think about like if someone like why would he even bother responding to something
Because
like
he's
that?
a degenerate.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
obviously.
he likes flirting with the idea.
I'm just trying to like bring
Yeah,
stuff up. Like this is not something a normal person would do. Obviously, I know the answer, guys.
I mean, he just kind of
Yeah.
sees it as like pushing the edge. He thinks it's really funny, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you can here's the thing with like Shadman. I think you can push the edge without like doing the kiddie stuff, right? Like he does push the edge in like other regards without it being kiddie stuff, and I think that's like not as bad or what have you.
He's drawn like the highly sexual, like fucking Despicable Me minions and shit. Like that's a bit of a funny meme, and if he stuck to that,
that's like
that'd be
funny.
okay.
That's like shocking and funny. Like
Yeah.
some big hits.
But when you draw like an actual 7-year-old kid,
He
there's
did all of
lines.
those Elvis the Alien
Yeah.
thumbnails. His Elvis the Alien thumbnails.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say those thumbnails are like inherently like bad. It's just like it's the kiddie stuff that.
Why do people?
He worked with Elvis specifically for those thumbnails, didn't he?
Yeah. Why?
I think he did all of his thumbnails. Yeah, for that.
Why
series.
work with a guy like this? You know what I mean? Why would you want to associate with a guy like
That would be
this?
a question
I
for
would
Elvis,
like
I
to
guess.
assume that these people just didn't know his history as in depth.
There's
but that's
no
obvious.
fucking way.
It's
That's
hard
impossible.
to not. That's
Here's the
his
thing.
reputation.
The thing that got
I know,
probably
but
the
I just don't
most
wanna
fucked up thing he did, which we'll get into in this video, happened in 2017. Those Elvis videos came out in like he did like a 2018 video with
I said I would like to think. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying that like I would like to think that these people
just-
are pro pedo.
even if they came out and said, I didn't know, I just would never believe that. I'm sorry. I find that impossible.
Well, I'm not
Trump won
comfortable
the
going
election.
around
Chadman
saying
decided
that
to
everyone's
vote-
like pro pedo, but
That's
Yeah, I mean,
wait, that's
I mean,
absolutely
I
not.
don't know.
What? Hold on. No.
I
That's
think
not what I'm
that's
saying.
because you're saying if you're okay with what Chadman does, like this is like.
No, I'm saying, why
this
would
is
you
like
work with a
he's
guy like
drawing,
this?
CP.
Well, what he's saying is that it's lazy.
Then you're
for
saying
people to not-
you're
it's
okay with
lazy
him
to
doing
not-
that, and then you're saying you're okay
Huh?
with CP.
Bowblax, he's not saying the pro pedo. He's saying it's lazy not to disavow this guy if you know about his history.
Yeah, I'm like,
He's
why would
saying-
you
he's
work with
saying
a
it's
guy like
hard
that?
Not to know anything about him. If you're hiring this guy to do your million,
But if you willingly
huge
work with a
thumbnails.
guy like that with you don't care about that shit, which I'm not comfortable saying that.
You're getting mixed up.
Either
with
you
this.
don't care or you'd get stomped on if you came out to saying it was bad.
That's not what I'm saying at all. Okay, listen, yeah, I have no issue like talking shit about this guy, but the people working with them, I'm not saying they're fucking pedos because they work with them. What I'm saying is like, why would you willingly associate
I'm
with a
not
guy
saying
like
they
this,
are
especially
pedo.
after
Yeah,
the highly
And then the
publicized
implication
legal
is
issue
if
he
you-
had that I find it impossible that they wouldn't know about.
And then the
I knew about this shit in
implication that- and then the
2017 before I was
and-
even on the internet. I knew what was going on.
And then the implication that they would work with this guy is saying that they're okay with him doing this stuff, which means they're okay with the images he makes, which means like they're pro lolly or whatever, which I'm not comfortable saying these people are.
We're not saying
And
they
they
are
know
okay
about
with it. We're
that's
questioning
such a
why
twist
it
in
looks
logic.
like that.
Yeah, that's not what I'm saying at all. That's a twist in logic. I don't know. Bowblax going hard on the devil's advocate tonight. I mean, it is
Because
funny.
I'm not comfortable saying that everyone's okay
No.
with what Shadman
But
does.
listen to
neither are we.
Bowblax right now. Listen to how much he has to like walk through this, like just to like give the benefit of the doubt here.
I'm
It
not
doesn't
defending
look good.
Shadman. I'm defending the people who
Yeah,
work
I know.
with him.
But
Give
you're
him the benefit-
all of these like
slight benefit of the
excuses you're
doubt.
giving people. All of these excuses you're giving Shadman, all the people around him or whatever. It is interesting to listen to and just you know what I mean? Like
I'm not giving excuse. I'm just saying like
I
would
know what
want-
you're
I
doing,
would hope
Bowblax.
that-
We know,
Calm
we know.
down.
I
Calm
would
down,
hope that's
Bowblax.
not the case. You're the one who freaked out saying
I'm
that
not freaking
calling
out.
other people pedos.
I'm having a great time tonight. I'm not
not
freaking
saying
out. I'm not calling people pedos either. I call this guy pedo, but I'm not calling anyone else.
Then what's the implication then when you say like,
It's
hey,
not an implication,
why would
it's a
they
You're
work
question of
working with
why.
the disgusting
Why would they
degenerate.
work
It's
with
as
these guys?
simple as that. You are
And then you're
working with the
saying- and then
disgusting
you're saying, I
degenerate.
find them hard to believe that they
I
don't
find
know,
it
so-
hard to believe they don't know about the shit that he's drawn, the conversation he had with the Colossal, the little girl, Keemstar's girl that he drew, the fucking girl that he drew that was getting pissed on, urinated on, and raped that was 12 years old. I find that fucking impossible to believe that in 2018, a year after that, these people that worked with this guy were just like, oh, I didn't know he drew that. No bullshit. There's no way. That was
Okay,
so
you're saying
publicized.
these
Guys,
people-
guys,
you're
guys,
saying
just
these
to break
people
up-
definitively knew. So what are you
Bowblax,
saying
Bowblax,
about
Bowblax.
them?
I'm saying they
Bowblax,
don't
Bowblax.
care,
They're
and
okay
that's interesting. I just
Okay,
find that
guys,
interesting.
let Tom.
Okay. Just to break up this argument a bit, Bowblax, what Augie's trying to say is that he's not necessarily saying that, you know, by working with Shad, these people are pedophiles. He's also not saying that they support pedophilia. He's saying if they don't support pedophilia, then it's very lazy for them to continue associating with Shad and not denounce his degenerate behavior and stop working with him. And considering his reputation, it's a little weird that you would hire him without doing any background work.
You don't just.
It's irresponsible.
Let me explain this.
I agree,
You do
but the
not
way he was
accidentally
wording it made it
hire a
seem
guy
like
like
he
this, all
implied
right?
you're
You don't
okay
just
with
go
it.
on Twitter and you're just like, I need an artist for my thumbnail. Shadman, yeah, sure, or whatever. I'll hook. That doesn't happen. You don't accidentally book this guy for your fucking for your art. You have to know who
And
he is.
I would agree with the assertion that they're lazy or they maybe don't care, but like if you're saying that
He's saying it's wrong. He's not saying they're pedos or that they support pedophilia. He's saying it's wrong
No.
to be this lazy with who you.
Most of the people that get called pedos on the internet aren't pedos. All right,
if they're lazy,
that word gets
they're
thrown
lazy
out
to do
all
the
over the
research and
place.
they don't know, right? Lazy would imply
I
that they
mean,
don't know.
I wouldn't
which
say
is
it means
what
they
I'm
don't know. I wouldn't say it means they don't know, but you got to keep in mind Shadbase has a huge fan base of people who like what he does.
Everybody's known this
Issue
guy.
with it.
Yeah, this guy is infamous. This guy
Like,
is the
He's
highest
saying it's
viewed
lazy to
channel.
not disavow him.
You
And
know
if
what's
you watch the video, the whole point of it is that it's lazy. It's lazy to not disavow
I
him.
agree,
It's the
but
easiest thing to
I
do.
agree, but all
You
I
wanna
was
know an
trying to do
unknown
is-
Edwin wants
fact?
to comment, by the way.
all I was trying to do by like defending people who like support him is to say that, hey, maybe they actually just didn't know, like just to like give them
This
the
guy-
benefit of the doubt, because it is horrible if they're lazy and they're ignoring this. That is horrible, and I don't want to like paint that onto every single person that.
Yeah, that's
All
fair.
right.
I
I understand
think
where
it's a
you're coming from.
possibility that I'm just like trying to
little
like
caught up in
say
the weeds,
like
yeah.
I understand Augie's point and I agree with it pretty much wholeheartedly, but at the same time I'm just saying
Okay,
like,
I just
also
don't
wanna
want you to. I
clarify
don't want
that,
you to
hey,
say what I make my argument for me, and I don't want you to say that I'm calling a bunch of people pedophiles.
I'm
Let
just
me-
saying
I'm
if,
just-
no, I'm saying people may interpret it that way, and I'm trying to say that hey, maybe like that's not the case.
All right, let me explain something right here. All right, this is a little known. This is something I've known for a while about Shadbase that nobody really talks about. That I find highly fucking interesting. All right, this is Shadbase's Twitch channel. All right, he is the highest viewed channel on Twitch, 700 million
What the
overall
fuck?
views. All right, for reference, here is Ninja's channel, 500 million.
Holy shit.
This guy is infamous on the internet. Everybody knows what this guy is.
Well, I didn't really know everything he did, but I knew of
You
him,
knew in
so I'm just
general.
saying that-
You knew this was the guy to stay away from, though, right? Or did you actually not know that?
I knew about the Keemstar shit. That's literally all I knew.
Well, if you were
Everything
around in
else-
2016,
everything else-
2017, you
and
definitely
if-
knew
and
about
if
that.
I-
And if
and if
I
I
heard that a
wasn't-
guy was drawing
Hey.
Keem's daughter, I would never fucking work with that guy.
Yeah, I know, and I wouldn't work with him either. But what if I didn't know about that situation? I didn't know about any of the other situations. I could have not known about that situation. I could have just thought he was like, because he does do like crazy
One
stuff,
too
like
many.
the minion stuff. He does the crazy stuff like the minion stuff, and maybe like I would mistake the backlash for that instead of like the
Right, well,
kid shit because I wouldn't know.
Let's
So
say
I'm
you
just
started
saying
working with him
that
because you didn't
people
know,
like
right?
Elvis the alien could be in that situation. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying
Let's say
maybe
that
they
you
were
started
maybe-
working with him and
maybe
you
they were
didn't know.
genuinely unaware. I think that's a possibility.
You've been
That's all
working
I'm
with him for
saying.
I
a
don't
few
believe
years,
that.
you didn't know. It's impossible that you hadn't found out by a couple of years. You find out, you would
I
disavow,
agree.
right? You would
Yeah,
stop working
yeah,
with
for
him.
sure, for sure.
There
And
is
I'm
no way
saying-
that these guys
I'm
at
saying-
some stage haven't found out.
Yeah, and I agree, but I'm still saying that there's the possibility that they didn't know, and I'm just saying like, hey,
It gets slimmer every
we
day.
can't
but
say
yeah, I
definitively
guess.
that they all knew.
Holy
That's all I'm
shit!
saying.
Look what I found here. All right, people ruin everything. Thumbnail, Shadbase. Your movie sucks. Shadman ruins everything. Here, look at this tweet right here. All right, Elvis the Alien. This was after the legal shit. He says weird art. This is in 2017. Weird art, very weird. But I'm in full support of your website staying up.
Bruh.
It's the people that demand this art that I'm personally critical of. Look at the loopholes.
How is the person who draws it any better?
Huh? Wait,
that's interesting,
you can draw it, but the people that look at it, I'm suspicious of. Where are they getting it from? Where the fuck are they getting it from?
Okay, so
But he
look,
could all.
don't scroll down any lower, bro.
Here's the thing I was talking about. Here's the thing
So
I
he
was
did
talking about.
know. He did know.
Here's the thing that I was talking
Let him speak.
about. Let me finish. Here's the thing. He's saying weird art here. Maybe he's thinking about because he does all other weird stuff too. Maybe he's thinking about that.
Interesting.
Like, don't-
I just don't.
It's weird
I'm
that
sorry,
people like
Bowblax.
this furry art
Listen,
that he makes.
if
That-
I
no,
was
that
as
is true. He
generous
does
as
do a
you,
lot of fetish
I
stuff.
could give him the benefit of the doubt.
No,
I
he-
just
he-
don't
he
believe
does-
that at all. I'm
You
sorry.
know what? I personally don't believe that that's the case, but I'm saying that maybe that could be the case, and I'm not. I'm just saying.
To be fair to Bowblax, he does do a lot of fetish shit. He does do a lot of weird
We
stuff.
shouldn't arbitrarily say that everybody who works with this guy is lazy and
All
doesn't
right.
know about.
It is of my opinion that most of them do know and don't give a shit. And
And
if they
I
were to come
agree,
out and
and
say
I
that they don't
agree,
believe that,
and
I wouldn't
Okay, guys, we're
personally
going in
believe them.
circles. We're going in
And
circles.
I agree, but I'm just saying that there's a possibility
Guys,
that there
can you
isn't,
stop?
and I want to give
Can we
people the
chill
benefit of
out?
the doubt.
Yeah,
play the video. Play the video.
I am so fucking glad I found that tweet. Thank you for that.
Yo,
Play the video. Play the video.
All right.
Before we play the video, Shadbase tweeted not that long ago, and someone responded to him and said, "Turkey Tom pissed you," and he said, "Because Thanksgiving is right around the corner." So I don't know what that means, but
Is he gonna draw
dude,
shit of
we gotta
you?
draw you.
I don't know. I guess.
What's his account called? Shadman or Shad?
It's at
Shadbase,
Shadbase.
I
It's
think.
search banned. So
It
you'll have to,
doesn't. Okay, I thought he
go
blocked
find
me
it.
for. I would be. Don't get me
Look,
wrong. I would be
I want
glad
to say
if he blocked
something
me.
real quick because while I don't agree with Bowblax, I want to say why I think people a different proposition as to why people continue to work with him. I think for the most part it was just widely accepted, right? Because what was that response from Elvis the Alien? That was after the Keemstar drawing. That's fucking weird, dude. I knew about that and I wasn't even doing commentary back then. That's fucking ridiculous. You can't just not know it. I'm sorry. I refuse that, but I think that because it wasn't widely called out. So cheers to Turkey Tom for taking a big step here. I mean, what the fuck? I'm sorry, but
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
I
sorry,
I don't know if Elvis.
I don't agree with the full point I was making either. I was just saying it's a possibility, so I would like to ideally give people the benefit of the doubt.
If
in that.
Elvis came
the
out and he
the
said,
reason
like,
I
he
was
didn't
getting
know,
mad-
I
the
would
reason
laugh.
The reason I was getting mad is because people in the chat are saying shit like, "Oh, you're supporting pedos or we're defending pedos." I'm
No,
not
don't say
defending
that
the
about
chat.
Bowblax. No.
He's not.
Don't say that about Bowblax. But what I will say is that if Elvis came out, or anybody of these people came out, and was like, "Well, I didn't know about that," I would fucking laugh at them. Like I would
there's
just.
no fucking way, dude.
Yeah, there's no way. I'm sorry. That's bullshit.
It's possible that when they first met him, they didn't know, but by now it's impossible.
Yeah.
All I'm saying it's a possibility, but it's unlikely. But since it's such a bad thing, I would like to
Yeah.
believe the unlikely.
Yeah.
thing,
That's
just
like
because of how
that's like
fucked
me
it is.
saying I had no clue Keemstar called Alex. He called Alex what? That nobody would nobody would believe that. All right, but anyway, let's pin this and play the video. And chat, fuck you if you're saying that about Bowblax. Seriously, don't say that shit.
Post art of Keemstar's daughter as a compromise for the bet. While not explicitly suggestive, the implications of even putting this image on his largely lolicon-centric site was enough to cause backlash. In response, Keemstar simply stated that he was calling the cops, not wanting to feed more attention to someone who was capable of doing even worse. So, one of his good friends came to bat for him instead. That friend would be Colossal is Crazy, one of Keemstar's podcast co-hosts, as well as a popular YouTuber in his own right, for videos which have often covered sexual predators like Lion Maker. After first calling Shad out on Twitter, he was eventually brought onto his stream, where the two had a surprisingly civil conversation. In this stream, Shadman admits that he may have gone too far. He flatters Colossal, stating that because he respected him, he was going to take down the image.
Totally understand. You understand that it was obviously part of like the controversial nature of the picture to post it under such context.
It started off as a controversial joke.
Yes,
You didn't go through with it.
I would have never.
You did draw a picture of Keemstar's daughter in kind of like, obviously she's not naked, but I do feel like there are sexual connotations regarding that picture. Would you agree?
Totally agree. Yes, totally agree. Colossal, I respect you like a hell of a lot.
Look at this guy.
Just like man to man, if you think it would be better for me to take it down, I would take it down just out of respect to
If
you.
you could do that, I think that would be wonderful.
You ever like see a guy that like just looks, he just like, or I don't know about
Well,
it. He looks, he sounds just like degenerate. Like he just like screams like.
And you got to think about like why he's covering his face as well. I know it's become like an aesthetic thing like in more recent years, but he's been doing this for like over a decade, like the covering his face on camera.
Yeah, there's a
and
reason
stuff.
he did it in the first
Like,
place.
yeah,
look at his
yeah, you gotta think
room.
about
Just
that.
listen to how he like speaks and how he just like comes off, like his presence. Like I know this is like little shit, but it just adds like just these like creepy fucking vibes. I don't know if I'm
like
looking
he's
way too
confident
into it,
in the
but
he knows it's fucked up, but he's confident in doing it, and he's confident he can get away with it and worm his way out of it. It's like that.
So,
type
this
of
is the
stuff.
thing. There was some people in chat before saying, "Get Shad on to debate blood sports with Shad." This is what would happen if we tried that. He just fucking worms his way out of it.
there's no debate. I'm sorry.
No,
Unless it's
there's no
like a
debate to have, and even if there was, he would get out of it.
unless it's like a lolicon debate of like, is this like, which is just like, yeah, it's just gonna be semantics. It's gonna go in circles, and it's just gonna be so uninteresting. I would literally just call him a creepy fuck and kick him off. That would be the debate. There's no conversation here, at least not that I can think of.
I'm gonna go do that right fucking now. I'm gonna take it down out of respect to fucking Colossal.
I appreciate you doing that.
I'm gonna go do it, and obviously it's gonna be fucking all
The picture
over.
is already out there,
Yeah.
so I understand.
Where Colossal expected a combative provocateur, he was instead met with someone who seemed reasonable. But the emphasis here is on the seem. Shad makes multiple concessions throughout the video, that he will take the image down and never cross this line again. But following the conversation, he fell through on both, deciding to keep the post up on his website, as well as continue drawing very similar art in the following months. Whether he ever had any intention of making amends is unclear, but it comes across as a blatant lie to Clown's face. In a later edit to the description of the drawing, Shad writes that he was keeping the art archived to prove that it was not porn, and that he would not draw any more of it. He then claims that he never actually considered going through with anything actually explicit.
bullshit.
Well, that's great, right? Sure, he didn't take the art down, but his rationale was believable. The problem is, that promise of never drawing suggestive art of children was broken only 3 days later. Before she became Soph and was deleted from YouTube, Lieutenant Corbus was an important figurehead in the commentary community. After receiving a shoutout from Pyrocynical, she was an up-and-coming creator most notable for posting above-average commentary videos while being just 11 years old. However, her newfound success as a young e-celebrity wasn't met without its blights, one of which came when Shadman started watching her videos. On November 18th, 2016, Shad continued his trend of drawing real-life lolly art when he drew Lieutenant Corbus posed sexually with a microphone over a vaporwave backdrop, with some very explicit captions accompanying them. Keep in mind that this girl was new to being a celebrity at the time, and once again, was just 11 years old. A post from the Sleepy Cabin podcast subreddit from around this time questioned if Shad had gone too far, with one of the common defenses for his art being the top reply in the thread.
How is that even a question? Like,
this whole, like, after seeing that picture that Turkey Tom put on screen, like, obviously I know it's not the worst of it because it's still, like, clothed, but, like, even, like, seeing that and then, like, knowing
The fact
how
that that's
much
not the
farther
worst of it.
the fact that that's not the worst of it, and just seeing that, like, as I said, there's no way you can watch this Turkey Tom video and defend Shadman after that. Like, I just...
Even within that artwork, I had to cut it off because I didn't want to show all of it. But it was a multi-image set, and if I had showed the bottom of it, it gets a lot more graphic in terms of what's going on.
It's just fucked, man. It's especially considering it's like a real person.
Yeah.
If it was just like normal lolly or whatever, I'd still like disavow it. But like the fact that's a real person and they have to see that, and their family has to see that.
You think about like the fact that it's like you have like, you know, a young child on the internet. I just could not imagine like if that should happen like in my family or whatever. I think like my parents would just fucking lose it. Like I genuinely, like, I don't know. I don't even want to think about that as a possibility. It's just like, if you don't understand why this is like just bad, just put yourself into this situation. Like, how would you react as like a father seeing that shit? You know what I mean?
Your younger sister, your
yeah, or even like your like nieces,
like that would just drive
like,
any like sane, like rational person to like insanity easily.
Tom, do you know when that picture, when he was drawing those pictures?
When was that picture of Lieutenant Corbus drawn? That would have been some like November 2016, I think.
Okay, yeah, I was just making sure. I was
Late
pretty
2016,
sure
early 2017.
See, that's what I mean.
So
like, this is before all those Elvis yelling simping tweets. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
dude?
yeah. This was all prior to that.
Yeah, exactly.
And it gets much worse in terms of that kind of stuff.
And Elvis the Alien, I saw tweets of him to Shadbase up until last year. So
Yeah, and he kept making the thumbnails for a series up until like this.
so that's what I
year or
mean.
whatever.
I
So,
think
like,
it's like
yeah,
clout
I
chasing.
definitely think Elvis knows.
Yeah, and
like,
a lot of clout chasing. I think
I'm
that's
not
what
saying
it
he
is. It's not that
didn't.
they don't know.
I was just saying it's a possibility for like other people. Like I was just talking broadly, so I wouldn't like. But
Yeah.
like with Elvis in particular, yeah, like for sure. With all the evidence and everything.
It's a possibility, and ideally
I
it would be
don't
the
know.
case, but it's unlikely.
I think he was doing it for a bit of fun, but also because it's what he enjoys doing. It's completely separated from reality.
Oh, he enjoys it.
Linking the girl's YouTube was a bad
Yeah, that's a
move,
good
but he doesn't
defense.
control what his
Great.
fans do or say. Nothing of real effect is going to come from a drawing on the internet, ultimately. It's very funny to me that this comment both claims that Shad's art is completely disconnected from reality and has no bearing on it, while also acknowledging that the person he drew is a real little girl, and that he links Lieutenant Corbus's YouTube page at the time. Like, do these people forget that children aren't meant to be exposed to explicit materials in general, nonetheless of themselves? Do you think there are no potential negative repercussions to a child being sexualized to a large audience? I normally am not someone to say that influencers should be responsible for their fans, but one has to wonder what kind of behavior Shad was encouraging by drawing an 11-year-old in this fashion, and even linking her channel for all of his fans to see in the same post. What kind of audience is he looking to attract? And what kinds of things does he want them to say about the subjects of his drawings? On an unrelated note, here are some images of Shad's fans getting the underage people depicted to sign his artwork. By this point,
What the
Shadman's
fuck?
name was becoming toxic. While some still
was the
tried
girl
to
from
defend
Stranger
his
Things.
actions under the guise
Yeah,
of
it
it not
was.
being
It was
explicitly
already
not
drawn.
safe for
Whenever that was drawn, doesn't even matter because she's still not an adult. The fuck?
there was, at the very least, a small level of plausible deniability. But this is where the narrative truly breaks for his defenders. Because while everyone was focusing on Shad drawing children in the context of YouTubers, this entire time, Shad was modeling porn based on child actors. Art of Emma Watson as Hermione Granger when she was 10 years old, art of Millie Bobby Brown when she was 12. But what would finally catch the attention of the public, and eventually get Shadman into legal trouble, was his depiction of Daphne Keene after her role as X-23 in the film Logan. On January 24th, 2017, leaked Discord messages from Shadman showed him posting set photos of Daphne Keene, captioning her as being molested and calling her an IRL lolly after watching interviews of her. More messages from the 6th of March show Shad stating that he'll be rewatching the film alone so that he can once again see his girl, Daphne Keene. While some have shed doubt on the veracity of these messages, it's hard to believe they're not real when only 3 days later, Shad posted an 8-image set of the actress being brutally molested onto his website. She is depicted severely beaten, scarred, and covered in urine. At the time, she was only 12. These images caught the attention of Null, the site owner and head administrator of gossip forum Kiwi Farms.
But he drew Lieutenant Corbus. He drew pictures of, I can't show any of these pictures because they're all pornographic. He drew pictures of Daphne Keene from Logan being raped by her co-star Hugh Jackman, and not just raped, like pissed on and shit on and brutalized and fucking like mauled like a bear by Hugh Jackman as the Wolverine.
Disgusted with his behavior, Null reported Shadman to Daphne Keene's talent agency.
And once someone started saying that I was a Karen because I had reported Shadman to the talent agency of Daphne Keene for drawing her being raped by Hugh Jackman, I was like, okay.
Causing Shad to receive a cease and desist email from her lawyers. Shadman decided to publish the email himself on April 10th, claiming X-23 was simply a fictional character who looked too much like the actress. The message read, Dear site operator and host provider, we are litigation counsel for actress Daphne Keene, a 12-year-old minor. We have become aware that the website Shadbase.com has created and posted pornographic anime cartoon images expressly depicting our client naked and engaging in sexual acts.
That's what
This
Elvis
caused
was
Shad to not
defending.
only go offline for a few weeks, but his site to be dropped by its host entirely. This destroyed any semblance of the
Yeah,
defense that
this is
Shad does
what
not
Elvis was
sexualize.
talking about with the site going down.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way he can't.
What, you just hear the site was going down, just did not look into it at all? Like, I guess.
I think this was the only drama where the site went down and it was
I
in the
think
right time.
If you look at the tweet, if you look at the tweet where Shad announced that the site was going down, I think you may be able to find Elvis's reply there.
Yeah, Elvis said, weird art, very weird, but I'm in full support of your website staying up. It's the people that demand this art.
Oh,
that
so
I'm
he comments on the
critical.
art in question. Okay, so
April
he
2nd,
knew.
2017, and the original.
I
tweet
don't think
deleted.
anyone demanded this one, didn't he? Didn't Shad say he was gonna go watch the movie again alone, and then he came out 3 days later with it? I don't
No,
think
of
anyone but
course.
him demanded it.
Of course, that wasn't public knowledge, but the fact of what he was drawing, like, why would you support this so blindly? Oh my God, Elvis dealing, you're like, I mean, I'm sure there was other people, like big YouTubers probably, okay, but Jesus fucking
Caught up in the
Christ,
storm.
this is a
That's
lot.
possible. You know what? Maybe a lot of people, because you got to remember, 2017. All right, here's where I will actually give the benefit of the doubt. Theoretically, all right. So 2017, the rise of anti-SJW YouTube, everybody's fucking pro free speech and shit like that. Maybe a lot of people just looked at this as like, oh, it's a free speech issue, so we have to
Right.
support this. Otherwise, we're hypocritical when we go after SJWs.
Maybe.
Maybe that's what happened, all right? And you know what? I actually could believe that. Does it make it better? Nah, but it gives an explanation as to why so many people just felt the need to make a statement and defend this because they were like, well, I mean, we're free speech guys, I guess, so we have to,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah,
can
I mean,
believe
if
that.
you want to do, if you want to do kind of a macro analysis, like overhead view of the situation, I guess you could say that's probably part of it, the kind of extreme free speech perspective, which to an extent I understand. But with this kind of stuff, I'm so personal.
Oh yeah.
I know. Because
Yeah.
it's just like
It would have been edgy back
and
then.
the only reason I'm like bringing up these like benefit of the doubt possibilities because there's so many people who support Shadman. It's not just Elvis. It's like Belle Delphine. It's all these other people, and I'm just saying like I don't know if they know about all of this, right?
I mean, we can,
or
we can
even
give
like
Bill a
or
pass.
some of it. Like
I'm
like
scanning
Belle,
through
for
everybody that
example.
tweeted him on that date when he tweeted that email because it was April 2nd. So we'll see if we find other YouTubers. Jesus fuck.
Mm.
I think Elvis is definitely guilty of supporting this, and a lot of people in the Sleepy Cabin stuff as well. I'm just saying that like not everybody supporting Shadman knows about the shit. Probably, potentially. I hope. I fucking hope. So.
All right, that was a good little break. Let's fucking keep suffering.
With Shad not only clearly drawing pornographic art based on the actress, but sexualizing the actress herself in the leaked Discord DMs. This isn't even accounting for the fact that this is only one example. This exact evidence exists for Liev Schreiber's son, who cosplayed as Harley Quinn in 2017. At the time, his son was only 9 years old. In this Discord message, Shadman can be seen pointing out his genitalia. And yet, in spite of all this, undeniable proof that Shadman draws pornographic art of real kids, undeniable proof that Shadman uses the term lolly as a stand-in for real children, undeniable proof that Shadman obsesses over child actors before drawing erotic art of them for his website, his defenders remain. Applies to his tweet revealing litigation, fellow pornographic artist Scudbutt claims that what Shadman drew was just as bad as the violence in the film. And to this day, the host of Sleepy Cabin, who gave Shad his initial sympathetic portrait back in 2015, continue to associate with him in spite of the controversies. It leaves one big question. What makes Shadman so special? From people who have consistently riled against other moral outrages, even sparking the backlash against the
Yeah, it's such a good point. I mean, anybody remember this? Was this year or last year?
I think that was early this year, early last year.
God,
yeah.
that was
Yeah.
so. So this comic comes out where it's like this super SJW artist or whatever. I forget what the comic was, but it's basically like this really annoying like character and stuff like this. And so everybody just went, "Oh my God, this comic is so crazy" or whatever. But then you have like monsters in the community who just get a pass because, oh, well, you know. And I'm sure it's not to say that every single person who's anti this is pro that, but still, it's just like, it's so funny what gets trending, like what like blows the fuck up in this community, what we get angry about, what we get the pitchforks about, whereas what we just, it's just shit.
Yeah, I am honestly like baffled by like how much of a pass Shadman gets a lot of the time.
Why does Shadman receive special treatment?
But Count Dankula comes out and he says this shit. I have a screenshot of it somewhere. Count Dankula comes out against Lolicon, and
I do want to put a note here.
Can
Can we just pause the video quickly? Count Dankula responded to this part on Twitter and said that the reason why he was following Shadman was so that they could debate on the topic of lolly, and he was kind of anti-lolly. So, isn't good proof. I mean, it is still generally true that a lot of people accept him. But in this particular case, I feel a little bad for including this clip.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people here. Like, there's Sive. You can see Dolan Dark on the side.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just randoms that follow this guy. I'm not saying they're all necessarily okay
I
with
follow
it. But
a lot of people in the community. You know that, so I can go and check right now who the mutual following is.
But to be fair, I would think that newer people like Belle Delphine probably is, the newer people wouldn't get a pass, but people from like 2016, 2017, I think that's like, dude.
Yeah, that's
Belle
what I was
Delphine-
trying to say. Maybe I didn't articulate it as well.
Belle Delphine's actually a longtime fan of him, from what I understand.
Okay, then she does not. Pass revoked. she's fucking weird anyway.
Yeah, now before I list off some of these people, I also want to say that, like, following isn't an endorsement. Like, I follow a lot of people that I just, like, I mean, I've been following Shadman, so...
But just to show how
I think I have him
influential he
muted,
is.
but...
Just to show how influential he is, you know.
Yeah. We have Memology following him. Belle Delphine, of
Memology
course.
definitely doesn't support
Oh
this
no,
shit.
Elucid follows him. Oh fuck, dude.
Oh, the alligator. No, I'm just kidding.
Who else am I seeing here? Indigo White, Kind of Ale.
Come on, Bowblax, rattle these out. Let's go.
Maybe write down the list.
More like slow blast.
Who is it?
Jameski follows him. Jameski follows him.
Did Shadman go bowling with Jameski? That's the real question.
Yeah.
Top follows him. I'm just trying to find people who are like all of these are like people who are like not relevant. That's why I'm slow. We have Elvis the Alien. We have Too Mad. We have Shive. We have Bricky.
Wait, Shive or Sive?
Sive.
Okay, so not Shive, the elucid guy.
Yeah, we have Hey Watch Your Mouth.
Okay,
We
I
have
think.
Bricky. We
All
have
right.
Bionic Pig. We have Idub's girlfriend.
Wait a
We
minute,
have
Bionic Pig.
Slazo.
Holy shit,
we have
Bionic Pig
Quackity.
pedophile, WTF?
We have.
Okay, all
Your
right.
Movie Sucks.
I'm joking.
Esquire Bob. We have
I'm gonna tweet that,
Wild
it's fine.
Spartans. Cat
I don't know these
Fat.
people. All right.
Okay.
Justin Roiland, the Rick and Morty creator, follows
What the?
him.
Wait,
Oh,
huh?
okay, that's a weird one. All
Wait a
right.
minute.
We have Dolan Dark, Max Mofo, Sky Williams, iDubbbz, Sir Paleo.
All right,
Oni,
Sky's
of
not
course.
getting in the next turn. No, I'm just.
Vito follows him. Ethan Ralph follows him. Justin Wang follows him. Some black guy follows him. Slasher follows him. Ricky Berwick follows him. So yeah, quite a bit of people.
Oh shit, Wang has a statement in the chat. He says, I still follow him because people have demanded I unfollow him and I don't want to give him an inch. Yeah, he doesn't.
I mean, I follow
Does
Shad
it?
too. So.
He doesn't want to give an inch, or does he because he continues to follow? All right, never mind.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, Wang follows a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good one.
Me and
Endorses
Wang,
all
like
of them.
we just follow a lot of people. Like I feel like when you're at the point where you follow like multiple thousands of people, you can't say that like you endorse everybody you follow.
Yeah, I don't think the follows me endorse.
I think you can never say that.
Bowblax is trying to get across. He's just trying to say that he's very influential, especially
Exactly.
even in
Yeah.
mainstream
Yeah.
circles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
The point is
by
that
the way, guys.
the point is that people know who he is. People.
Yeah,
know
it was
him.
not a call out little rant. It was influential because Justin Rowland also
Yeah.
follows nearly 2,000 people, so it's like
Probably did.
It's like this isn't some.
He did, like,
random
Rick and
artist, but
Morty
he
art.
Chris
follows.
Raygun. Chris Raygun follows him.
All right, let's keep playing.
it's not a
Follows
call out
the-
rant. Remember?
Chris Raygun, by the way.
Let's look back at Shadman's interaction with Clown from 2016.
Well, yeah, I taking it down right now. Taking it down on Twitter too, and I don't want to take up any more of your time. I know you're probably a busy guy with the podcast and all, so.
No, it's no problem at all. And thank you so much for doing that. I do appreciate it. I'm sure Keemstar will appreciate it. I'm sure a lot of other people will appreciate it. So thank you again.
Won't happen again. Have a nice day, Colossal.
And you, man. And you.
Won't happen again.
There you go, guys. Fucking, you can't resist the charm of Colossal. He wants me to take it down. I never fucking take shit down, but for him, I just learned my lesson here.
Recall how Shadman diffused the situation. He flattered Colossal, saying that while he typically wouldn't do something, because he liked him, he'd do it to appease him. Following the stream, however, he followed through on none of his promises. He lied.
What the fuck? Okay, that fucking.
Keem's probably going to give you shit for having that in the video.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was on his website.
He put this up. Holy shit! Okay, I thought you made a meme of like.
No. That's from Shadman's website. You can see
Dude.
like a sidebar. I did not make that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Oh my god.
He lied about removing the images, instead doubling down to draw not just more suggestive images of children, but also
Jeez.
explicit rape pornography. The clip,
Ah.
while many commenters don't see it, is Shad blatantly manipulating Colossal, revealing just how good he is at diffusing one-on-one interactions.
It was
he
kinda
mitigated
funny,
the
though.
controversy by looking good to Colossal, getting him to initially praise him and saying that he's not that bad, and just got the interaction he wanted clipped on YouTube for everyone to think that he is amicable. Shadman is someone who is detested by both sides, from Tumblr callouts who pair his artwork with his edgy jokes, to Kiwi Farms, who is hosted by a former developer for 8chan. His disavowal is a non-partisan issue. Theoretically, that makes the decision to disassociate easier, but more powerful than any any political alignment is social attachment. While it's true that his friends may have fond memories with Shadman, who state that his online behavior doesn't correlate with his offline behavior, that just makes them complicit. Shadman may not have physically abused a child, but he undeniably sexually harassed Daphne Keene to the point where legal action was threatened. You claim that Shadman is a genuinely good person, but that's only because he's been good to you. If one day Shad were exposed for genuinely abusing a child, by that logic, would you still defend him simply because your interactions with him were positive? The answer is no.
Well, he's just into that, and he walked a grandma to the supermarket once.
Exactly.
So, well,
I can't
you
believe
know.
that's a real thing. That's like something you say like as a meme.
Once
like,
again, like I
yeah.
wouldn't be mad at anyone for anything, like, you know, like obviously I'm not the guy, and I go over this a little. I'm not the guy to be mad about edgy jokes, but I see this as a lot more.
Yeah, it's not a joke. It's real. That's the difference. It's a pretty big difference.
You know, he said it is sexual harassment to literally draw a child naked. I mean, if you draw anyone naked like that's in the way that he does, that is little sexual harassment because you're harassing someone. Nobody wants to see that, you know? Like, imagine I drew you naked. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That'd be fucking weird, especially with the amount of detail and all that. Let alone the fact that that's fucking weird as shit. You're doing it to a kid.
Yeah, and then that's
Exactly.
like the extra line. He already crossed the line by drawing real people naked without their consent, and then he crossed the other line. You know, there's like
This guy's
So
just a
many lines
fucking
crossed.
loser.
Spazkid concludes by saying that there'd be no point in cutting ties with Shadman, as he's become synonymous with Newgrounds. He then implies that Shad's critics are snowflakes, who live in echo chambers and avoid anything that slights them a little bit. In spite of his claim, this isn't simple guilt by association. These are people who not only actively run defense for him, as evidenced by Spazkid saying they're just jokes, but also give him a place to stay. And perhaps the most surprising element is how willingly the public goes with it. The key question to this entire section, the basis of the cult of Shadman, is why he receives that special treatment. Shadman is considered part of the site's old guard, as Spazkid admits himself. If not for the various podcast episodes, Let's Play episodes, and promotional runs where they plug his site and merchandise, it's doubtful he would have been given the same pass he does today. Suddenly, it's your fault for thinking it's disgusting to draw pornography of real-life children, and you're just a snowflake for trying to cancel him. If they want to continue to associate with him, they're free to. But this idea that they're removed of all responsibility simply because they claim to not condone his behavior is laughably stupid. At a certain point,
Alright, and I'll cut it off there. You guys go over there as soon as this podcast is done and go watch the entire thing. I'm telling you right now, the bits that we played, it's better if you watch it from start to finish and really take it in, listen to it uninterrupted, just get it all like, listen to it with all the music in the back and stuff like that. You get the full picture so much better. This is a guy that I have been questioning I think it actually became like a meme with some of my friends. Like every year I'd make a new Shadbase tweet. Since 2017, I actually dug up old tweets of mine.
Sorry.
Yeah, here I am in 2017 talking about this shit. I even referenced like the legal case, which I totally forgot about, but I do remember from 2017. Every year I was like, how the fuck does this guy get a pass? And now there is an easy to watch 20-minute video that you can just, you know, you have questions, go watch this video. Great job.
Although the
Right.
question still remains, like, why do so many people like still support this guy? I get like with some.
I mean, that's the question the video
I
poses.
mean, if you watch it,
Yeah.
the answer is it's easy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I guess it's just easy. Yeah, I think
It's
that would be the
accepted.
best conclusion. That's the best conclusion. But I still think like
It is the conclusion.
so when it comes to something like pedophilia, you shouldn't just like not disavow because it's easier not to. Like,
I mean, that's the point of the video. That is
yeah,
the
I
message,
know. But
I agree with what you're saying.
What a fucking screen, dude.
This tweet is still up.
This is just something else. So,
2 whole blocks.
Maybe it's a
He
joke,
walked 2
right?
whole blocks.
dude, 2 blocks.
I don't think it is. If he's joking about it, that's still pretty bad.
It
But I don't
is
think it is a joke.
It's, I really don't think it's a joke.
At least it's not a response to a picture, but yeah, obviously, like he's obviously looking the other way. I mean, what's going on, Rice Pirate?
Well,
I don't know what's
there
up
we
with
go.
Mick there, but
So-
That's crazy, dude.
yeah. Well, the more you know, a little wholesome story as we're kind of, you know, wrapping up. Wrapping up. We're getting close to Thanksgiving.
Wholesome,
You know, the new PlayStation just came out. Everybody's
Now,
having a
here's the
good
question.
jolly time. Just think about this, you know, while you're.
who will get banned first,
This
Shadman or
Thanksgiving,
Pedo
we're
Gaming?
eating turkey tongue.
I think Pedo Gaming's days are far numbered in comparison to your boy Shad over here. I don't even know if with these people, like, look, if we're gonna operate under the premise that this guy is 100% a confirmed pedophile, which I mean, I don't know what else I'd call him. Here's the thing: it's like do you want this guy deplatformed? I actually question is like, does deplatforming pedophiles, does that help or does it just feel good, you know? Because I remember everyone was rallying to get Onision deplatformed last year or whatever. And I found this conflict of like, what would that do? You know, like, let's forget about the fact that there's no real case against Onision, at least legally. Think about, what does that do? Does that help or does it just feel good? Like, oh yeah, the pedo's gone. I mean, yeah, I guess it restricts their access to talking to kids or whatever. What about the people that aren't talking to kids? What about the people that are producing art for, I guess, pedophiles to consume or something like that? I mean, I guess kicking them off does kind of limit their ability to do that, but I don't know. I feel like a guy like
you
this...
take their channel away, they're still going to wake up the next day and carry on.
Yeah.
Like, maybe take it away when they're behind bars.
Yeah.
Before that, it's not going to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, and that's the thing too. Like, you know, the videos I've made on Onision, I've never made a call to action like, "Oh, guys, send me to jail." Or I've never said anything that I never kind of spread that rhetoric. I've never called them a pedophile either. I just think, you know, it's like what you're doing, Augie, like, and what Tom's doing, like making the videos to inform people of the actual fucked up shit. And like this is next level, dude. Like, I mean, because you know, it'd be one thing if he wanted to be a super creep and draw kids, but he's drawing people to the extent that they give him his cease and desist.
Somebody in chat says, what did they say here? Being pro deplatforming means that you're okay with all That's not true. That's not true at all.
Not really. I mean,
you can be anti-pedo or whatever, but still want to allow people.
Pedophilia is the exception to everything, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well,
the only caveat to free speech.
That was
That's my
stupid
take.
because it's like saying seeing things in black and white. No, I don't. Look, I don't have a good metaphor.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, I
No,
think
I honestly wouldn't care if he was just drawing like lolly. Like I do find it kind of disgusting, but I don't know. It
wouldn't be nearly as bad.
The fact that he drew it of a real little girl is like really disturbing to me. That's the part that really fucks with me.
Yeah.
And like linked their YouTube channels. Like, what is he encouraging with that? You know?
Yeah. See, and especially the way he was talking to Colossal, it's like obviously he's like trying to like get on people, get more attention. Like that's creepy.
RFC After Hours is a live trending issues and entertainment broadcast with co-host Bowblax, broadcasted every weekday, Monday through Friday, starting at 6:30 p.m. Central. The show is for entertainment purposes only. All chat messages and donations read are the words of the original messenger, and certain viewpoints expressed do not reflect that of myself or Bowblax.